On this episode, we smoke the Montecristo Classic Series Connecticut Robusto 5x52, and we talk a little bit about 2024, roll out the Magic 8 Ball, and try to prognosticate about our hobby and what we're looking forward to. I'm your host, Johnny Midas, and you're listening to Burnline Podcast. Burnline Podcast. The burn line on a well-crafted cigar is straight and sharp as a razor, much like our wit and wisdom. And what's up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, over the age of 21. You are listening to Burnline Podcast, coming to you, as always, not live from the Hot Box, the smoky back room where deals are struck and fortunes are made, adjacent to the Blanco Cigar Lounge, nestled amongst the complex of rooms that comprise Union Cigar, Hanover, Pennsylvania, USA, the only Blanco Lounge in North America. I am your host, Johnny Midas.
And I'm Angel El Fumo Solario.
What's up, El Fumo?
Not much. It's cold again.
Yeah, it got cold again. So we had a couple weeks of like winter weather. You know, snow, ice, cold, and then it was mid-50s last week?
Yeah, and then one day where it was like a touch under 70.
Yeah.
And it felt like hell.
Yeah, now we're back to 30, 25, something like that.
It was like 28 an hour ago.
Yeah. So, winter in Pennsylvania, but we are snuggled up in the hot box, which is already pretty hot.
Yep.
Feel
That's why it's called a hot box.
Might be taking the sweater off in a little bit. So we're doing something kind of interesting today. We're smoking this Montecristo, and I put the box up here for folks. I took mine out of the cello ahead of time because this looks like a cigar that should not be in cellophane.
No.
Right?
I agree. I used to not care about that before.
Yeah.
But once you started making the argument of why certain cigars shouldn't be in cellos, I'm like, yeah, if this is an ultra premium cigar, get it the hell out of the cello.
Yeah, I mean, and so this is obviously playing off of the Cuban image. Right? The Cuban Montecristo, same wrapper, same band, same Robusto size. What is that, a number 4 in Cuba? They use like the numbers instead of the size.
Yeah.
I think it's a number 4.
Number 4.
I think.
Yeah, because they don't do the 4x or 5x, something like that.
Yeah. So it and of course Cubans don't come in cello ever.
No.
So it does look like a cigar that shouldn't be in cello. So I took mine out. Also, it rattles on the microphone, like in the thing.
But I kept mine in the cello so
you can see what it looks like. It does have the retailer's barcode on the back, which is good, as well as a price sticker on the front, but
faded.
Yeah. And these retail for $16.25 here at Union Cigar Hanover. Wow, a box of 20 will set you back $292, which comes out to just $14.50 per stick, which is pretty good for Montecristo. And I guess that's something we'll end up talking about is $16.25 for Robusto is a premium cigar price.
Yeah, that just tracks with the economy now.
Yeah, sort of. There's not a lot of Robustos that are 16 and a quarter
but,
over there in the humidor.
Montecristo could get away with it.
Yeah. Get away with it, or is it worth it? We are going to find out on Burnline Podcast. So a little bit about presentation before we actually cut it. So this is the box, and this is the cheap press board wrapped in paper style. Flips open. A lot of Fuentes boxes look like this, too. And you've got the information card. It's kind of
the retail information card. Yeah,
it's like the lighting's not great. It's like shining off of there, but so great. I think great for retailers, right? Like they've got the barcode on there for your POS system.
Yeah.
It's a display type of box. It works well. So I kind of like the yellow and gold.
Yep.
It's like an interesting mix, you know.
Yeah.
Montecristo's like default colors is like this brown and it's I don't know, walnut brown.
Yeah, like a brown and walnut brown.
Yeah,
like
it's just
two
like
different shades of brown.
Yeah. And white lettering.
Yeah.
And gold. It's a very like I don't know, classic.
Yeah. This definitely appeals to you.
Yeah, it's not fancy, but it's
Right.
it's classic.
I like that. It's like a mustard yellow.
Yeah,
I like.
yeah,
The aging room had that Lamborghini yellow. This definitely has like that mustard yellow.
yeah. I kind of like it, and then it has the classic series secondary band on
Yeah.
it. So I'll hold that up so folks can see the double band. I think the wrapper is really good looking. It's a Connecticut wrapper. It is like very lightly oiled.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull mine out.
I see a little hiccup here on the cap. See if that works or doesn't work for me.
But like that.
Like, what am I looking at?
That is like a weird pop vein or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like a compressed vein.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, it goes the whole.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a little worrying over there.
I don't know. We'll see. I've got this right here. That could turn into a split.
Yep.
It looks like a fragile wrapper. And there's a lot more oil on it than it kind of looks matte until you touch it.
Yeah.
And you can almost,
Feel the oil.
almost move the oil around. So very interesting. Of course, Connecticut wrappers tend to be delicate. And by I mean Connecticut shade, not Connecticut broadleaf.
Mine's already popped. You see that right there?
No, that's just a little nub. It's not
There's
a
a
pop.
hole.
If you keep pressing it, it'll be a hole. I think that's a nub. Well, we're about to find
I
out
hope so.
as we cut and light these cigars. The official cutting is brought to you by Fat Boys Cigars. The bold and delicious flavors of premium hand-selected tobacco leaves are highlighted in the original Jacked cigar by Fat Boys Cigars. And don't forget to try the new Fat Boys Cigars Boots on the Ground series. For every cigar you purchase in this series, Fat Boys will donate $1 to charities benefiting our frontline heroes. I just saw on Insta they've got the thin red line back in stock, including in Robusto, which is kind of my default size, right?
Yeah.
Fat Boy Cigars, welcome to the Fat Boys world.
Yeah.
And do you have a cutter?
I'm gonna need to borrow that.
You want to use the Craftsman's Bench?
Yep.
Nice, sturdy, double guillotine, open-ended. I'm using my Drew Estate Freestyle Live-esque.
Yeah.
Although I'm not as actually, I still think my closed-ended Perdomo is my favorite closed-ended double guillotine. This one is okay. It just it doesn't. I don't feel like it takes off quite enough stick,
Yep.
and it's just a little less smooth in operation. And as always, we remind you to clip that cigar with authority. No limp-wristed cutting allowed. I did good that time, though.
There you go.
That's pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's about
It's
the
not
right
3 in a
depth.
row.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not sure what was going on the last 2 episodes.
Dude, this is falling out like a Cuban sandwich. How much ash or dottle are you getting?
No,
on
not much on
Okay.
mine. I got a nice even cut.
It's because I use that Drew Estate cutter.
Maybe that's it. Maybe the blades are dull already.
Could be. I don't know what kind of steel they're using. All right, so we've got all of
Chinesium.
that. Yeah, I know it is. And we remind you guys to always do the hand job on your cigar.
Always.
You know, I didn't know that was a thing. Nick the Brick introduced me, and I've never stopped.
Yeah, it's definitely made the experience different.
I think so. I just don't like doing that thing with my tongue while I'm smoking my cigar, you know?
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Don't have floaters on the teeth anymore.
And we are excited to announce that we have a new sponsor on the show, 2C Premium Coffee. So
Oh, yeah.
we had their coffee on the show a few weeks ago, and it was fucking awesome. This is a family-run company up in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And we just tried the coffee, and it was top-notch.
It was amazing.
And yeah, and the thing is, I'm definitely like a coffee, I don't know, snob isn't the right word.
But connoisseur.
Picky, at least.
Yeah.
Connoisseur. You know, like,
I'm picky about my coffee,
I
too.
can afford to get whatever coffee I want, and so I do. You know, I just don't make a big deal out of it. Like, if someone offers me a cup of coffee, I'm not going to shit on it.
All right.
Yeah, I might not have seconds, though, or finish the cup they gave me.
Because legitimate Starbucks coffee does suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their espresso's not bad. Anyway, 2C Premium Coffee is sponsoring the official lighting of the cigar going forward, and they were nice enough to send us this 6-bean baller, which smelled amazing in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about on the show. I drink mine black as usual, and you're what, drinking it black?
Yeah,
All right.
actually. Yeah, some coffees are like your main commercial coffees are a little rough, not to add some sugar to it.
Yeah.
But this is some pretty good premium,
Dude,
so
it's smooth.
I didn't
It
need
is smooth.
sugar.
Do you
so-
want? I've got 2 single flame soft flames and 1 that Rocky single flame jet.
Let me try that
What?
one.
What are you? You have your fucking.
I do, but
You
you
have
were
2.
offering. I was like, oh, I'll use a soft flame. I have that jet. Did you see
Oh.
that? That was cool as shit.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, use your own fucking lighter then. I'm gonna use
Jeez.
mine. The
Okay.
official lighting is brought to you by 2C Premium Coffee. Keep your day fueled with delicious premium coffee from 2C Premium Coffee, featuring select beans from Kintamani, Kenya, Bali, Ethiopia, and around the world. 2C Premium utilizes continual roasting, so you are always getting a truly fresh cup of premium coffee. 2C Premium Coffee, because life is too short for bad coffee.
Yep.
All right, we are getting these toasted up. And as always, we remind you, toasted, not roasted. If you want to know how to enjoy the first half inch of your cigar and the rest of it, learn how to toast your cigar.
Remember, at least this far away, not this far away.
Oh, God.
God, that hurts. But to be fair, when I started, I was doing that, but I didn't know any better.
Absolutely. And I would never judge anybody who is learning how to smoke a cigar. Practice, practice, practice. Now, if you know better and you're still doing it, then I question your nicotine addiction. Because there is no good reason to ruin a $16.25 cigar.
I question a lot of things when you do that, but that's as far as we'll discuss that. Pretty good off the draw.
Yeah, that's a lot better than I thought it would be off the draw, actually. So, I'm definitely getting some pine nuts.
What the hell is a pine nut?
A pine nut?
Yeah.
Pinon?
Okay.
Sabe?
Yeah. Sorry. Yes, I am fluent in Spanish, but like there's certain words that I know in Spanish and I don't know in English.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few words that I know in English that I don't know in Spanish. Like
All
most
of
of them. Some vegetal bitter. That really is, I just call that the Connecticut bitter, honestly.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Connecticut's they're light and bitter.
Mm-hmm. Cedar? Is that cedar on there?
Yeah, cedar plank. Yep.
Maybe a little, maybe toasted cedar.
Yeah,
It's a little toasty.
definitely right at the nose.
Yeah. It's really interesting because there is like a,
I'm only getting one note so far.
there's definitely like a toasted part to it.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. I get the cedar, but there's toasted something there.
Yeah.
I'm not getting. That's the only two flavors I'm picking up on it right now.
Cedar and bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on the back of your nostrils when you do the retrohale, it's toasted something.
Yep. I'm gonna be honest. I don't smoke Connecticut's that often.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the first Connecticut I had. Oh, this is my first Connecticut of the year. Woohoo!
Me too. Awesome.
Yeah.
We're just a couple of Connecticut Yankees in King Arthur's Court. Let me talk about this coffee, though. So we were happy to partner with 2C, partly because, you know, they're from the Burgh, Pittsburgh.
Yep. Shout out to Teresa, by the way.
Shout out to Teresa. And, you know, family-owned,
Yep.
small business. That's what we're all about. And we're happy to have them on the podcast because, first and foremost, this is fucking kick-ass coffee.
Yeah, it is. It really is good. We're not just
Yeah.
pandering or
Like we kind of have options.
Yeah.
For coffee on the show and a coffee sponsor.
We do. Yeah, we're not blowing smoke up your ass. Literally. Oh, I mean, no.
we're blowing smoke, but just from the cigar.
I've already had an accident.
Go to that's fucking user error. Pull that off. It's not gonna affect anything.
How's that user error? Oh yeah, it is, sir. Oh, yep,
I mean, it's not really user error. It's the cap wasn't quite affixed with the pectin.
Yeah.
Sorry
to interrupt. That's just like, there we go.
Well, when you pay that much for a cigar, you kind of expect it to be semi-perfect. So, but yeah, 2C premium coffee. We got a surprise gift pack for Christmas.
Yep.
And which one did we have?
The breakfast blend.
The breakfast blend.
Yep.
Really good.
That was definitely a lighter roast than this.
Yeah. And you can tell when the coffee is smooth. It doesn't have that like too old, too roasted bitter.
Yeah.
Oily, smooth.
Yep.
So this is the 6-bean baller, which sounds like it should be Johnny Midas's coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. The official.
This has like roasted chocolate.
Yeah.
Flavor to it. Really, really good. I drink my coffee black, so I can taste everything. I'm not covering anything up.
Yeah.
And this is smooth, and it's got like an interesting flavor profile where it's like, to me, it's like smooth and silky like a light roast, but it doesn't have the bitterness of a light roast.
Right. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's really unique and awesome. So, welcome to 2C Premium 2 Burnline podcast. We're excited to have some coffee. Coffee and cigars for me, that's the ultimate pairing.
Oh, absolutely. It's like alcohol and cigars, and then it's coffee and cigars. That's about it.
And with coffee, I can have a lot more of it in a lot more places than I can alcohol.
I think it's more enjoyable with coffee than it is liquor.
I do as well. It doesn't drown the cigar out for starters.
Yeah, and then since it's more water than liquor is, liquor. Liquor's pretty strong, so it's gonna stun or numb your palate at some point. Not only that, you're gonna be getting sloshed at some point if you're throwing down whiskey.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, but just for the experience.
Speaking of getting sloshed, isn't next weekend the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say that.
Oh, the big game. The big game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to edit that out.
Yeah.
Like, for real, they, censor that.
I
it's
heard.
Copyrighted. Yeah. What a little bullshit.
All right, he said the other word, but we're talking about the big game next
fuck you, NFL. You not-for-profit motherfucker. All right.
Can you say that?
I don't know. I'm going to let that float and see what happens. We're going to take down all 43 of your posts.
Yeah.
All right. So a little bit about the presentation. I like the box. I like the cigar. They go well together. But am I fair in saying, the box is a little bit low end for the cigar?
I was actually thinking that right before we started the show. I'm like, that's the price and then the box you're getting, that's a little...
Yeah, it's a mismatch.
Yeah.
This is like a Chateau Fuente box.
Yeah.
It's not horrible, but it's definitely not a $16.
But maybe that's why we're paying 16 and not 18 or 19. I don't know, but I agree either way. We should be getting a nice box.
It does have the super cool, what do you call that, hologram on the back?
Yeah, the seal.
Yeah, the PR cigar hologram. Y'all can see that in the corner. That's the Association of Dominican Cigar Manufacturers, and it does have a serial number. So
it's pretty legit.
It is. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Since it's not Cuban, are people making knockoff Dominican Montecristos?
Most likely, yeah. Actually, I've seen those.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
So this is how you can tell it's the real deal.
Don't buy cigars at Niagara Falls. Those guys,
or on the beach in Nassau.
Yeah. Those guys are assholes. You should not be paying $40 for a Montecristo. Just telling you that right now.
Okay, but if you're there and you don't have sticks,
I'm going to a gas station, and they most likely have a decent cheap cigar.
I'm paying the $40.
Even though it's probably like a $2 cigar.
Yeah, I think I am.
Oh, I don't know. That's rough. I can't
so.
sink $40 for bullshit.
Well, what I have to think is, will the experience be $40 better with a cigar? If the answer is yes, I'm getting it.
I guess so. While you're staring at the falls.
Yeah, and if the answer is no, then I'm like, well, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. And like I was there, so I can tell you, it's always there's like no legit. I don't think the place where you could get it is at the Falls Casino. I think they have cigars in there, but I didn't really look in there. But if you're walking around,
well, and remember, it's New York, so it's a 100% tax.
I don't know. I was in Canada.
Oh, I don't know. Canada's socialist.
Well, that was pre-craziness. This is 2017.
Oh, so before Inspector Trudeau decided to become
Inspector Trudeau
decided to become dictator.
Yeah.
What an asshole. All right, but yeah, so I don't like the cello on it, but I do from a retailer standpoint, especially. But I think I feel like the cello in the box really like cheapen the image because if you just look at this cigar, you're like, that looks like a really classic Cuban-esque, style. Yeah,
that the box and the cello combined just does not do it for me.
Moves it down market.
Yeah, it's so weird. I
would expect this to be like a $10 cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I'm looking
even
at it, somebody who I'm not. Yeah.
My burn line is really good though.
Yep, I've already had to turn mine though, so it's evening up. But
mine's burning well. Smoke output is light.
Yeah,
the smoke itself is just there. It's just regular smoke.
Yeah. By the way, this is the most charred burn line of the cigars I've smoked with you so far that I've noticed.
Because it's a Connecticut.
Yeah.
Connecticut's tend to look like that. There's just higher contrast. But you got the 3 lines, or 4, right? You have the ash, you have like the combustion line, and then you have that super light line behind it. Yeah. And then the wrapper color.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I'm used to smoking Maduro, so I guess I don't notice that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would call this right now, it's mild.
Yeah, it is mild.
Mild body.
Yeah.
Mild taste, mild smoke.
Yep.
I feel like this is something you could smoke like at the beach where it's hot, with a Mai Tai or something.
Possibly, yeah.
Because it's not going to knock you on your ass.
That's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
I've never seen that.
I'm suspicious.
Yeah. Are these knockoffs? I'm worried now. These are
it has the official seal.
These are Canadian knockoffs, damn it. No, this isn't too bad though. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Connecticut's because they're too light for me at this point.
Yeah.
But that's how I started, was obviously Connecticut's. I want to say, maybe I shouldn't say that, but this is not a bad Connecticut compared to this other Connecticut that I've smoked recently.
Yeah. So I guess here's my thing on Connecticut's. I think a properly done Connecticut is one of my favorite smokes. Yeah. So an example of that would be the Sober Mesa. I still think is a top 5 cigar. Some of the Perdomo Connecticut's.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Are pretty good.
Like I said. We seem to always talk about Perdomo. It's so weird.
Yeah. And they age theirs a little more.
Yeah, DBL. DBL does a good Connecticut.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're not crazy light. They're just right.
Yeah.
So I can stand those.
But most of the other Connecticut's, I think they're just designed to be starter cigars or something.
Yeah.
Introductory.
Like I said, the Champagne, I wouldn't even smoke that as a starter cigar. That is too light.
Yeah.
That is crazy light.
Yeah. Connecticut still outsell all the other wrapper types.
Yep.
So, they're very popular. But, to me, like Ashton makes some good cigars, but the Ashton White Label Connecticut, blech, I'm not smoking that, So the handful of Connecticut's I'll smoke, it's a small list.
What is the Buffalo Trace? Do you remember?
What do you mean? What is it?
The cigar.
Yeah.
Is that a Connecticut? I really
No, it's
don't.
a natural.
Natural.
Yeah.
That one's not that great either.
Oh man, that's like smoking cardboard.
It really is.
Sorry, what is that? General that makes that?
I think so, but whoever, I think we already said it before on here, but whoever from Buffalo Trace that went to smoke
Signed off on it.
Yeah, you're not a cigar smoker.
Yeah, they need a reprimand. Of course, they're not. It's just co-branding. Like they're
Right.
not aged in a Buffalo Trace barrel or anything like that.
Nothing at all, and it doesn't even go with the
Buffalo
bourbon.
Trace.
Yeah, at all.
Did we do that on the show?
No, we haven't. But
I have that at home.
yeah,
Like the Buffalo Trace bourbon and the cigar, but
yeah, I have the bourbon. I don't have the cigar.
I just don't, because I display,
Right.
the matching cigar and bourbons, but I can't do that to our listeners in the show. I feel like,
That's a disservice.
yeah, like I already know the outcome. Don't buy this cigar.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
I mean, because General also makes the Mark Twains.
Yeah, which
and
they're great.
They are, and they're half the price. I
Right.
think the Buffalo Trace is like $9.
Yeah, that's not a $9
No,
cigar.
if it was selling for $4, I'd be like,
Yeah.
take your chances. But there's better $4 cigars.
Speaking of Connecticut's, the Mark Twain Presidente is not that great either. That is, it's not that it's light; it's just crazy bitter.
Yeah. Also, it was so flat to me. Like it was one
Note,
shitty note
Yep.
for a long. Like it was too much.
But
That needs to be a cigarillo,
right.
you know.
But
so it's over fast.
Yeah, but the press and the riverboat, they knocked that out of the water.
Yeah. The press, the riverboat, those are both great. The memoir's okay.
The memoir, yeah, it's not as great, but definitely the press. And I know you're a riverboat fan.
Dude, the riverboat Toro. I think they're like $5, something like that, $4 to $5. And it looks good.
Yeah.
It's consistent. It burns well. And it just has a good flavor to it. You know? It's not fancy. It's not like, oh, I'm tasting notes of toasted currant wrapped in bacon. You know? It's just fucking cigar smoke. But it's good cigar smoke. Yeah, totally worth the price. I would smoke like, 2 or 3 of those before I smoked a $16 cigar that's, meh.
Meh.
You know?
I agree.
So, speaking of, how's this? I don't know, man. I'm a little.
Yeah, I know. I'm not impressed right now, honestly.
I wouldn't say meh, but I would say, why on earth would you pay $16.25 for this?
I don't know. I know I wouldn't.
So, I'm getting more sweetness now. I think the vegetal bitter has held steady.
There's a nut there. I can't identify it.
It's a pine nut.
Is it a pine nut?
That's what it tastes like to me. It's like a pine nut. Yeah. Yeah, I think where I'm at right now is like it's a good cigar and I kind of like it.
Ooh, that vegetal popped up real.
Yeah, you got to be careful, especially with the retrohale.
Yeah, it's on there. Really good on the retrohale.
Yeah, I like this one better. This is a rare cigar. I think I like better without the retro.
Yeah, that retro.
Because it's
rough.
sweet.
That
Like
retro's rough.
on your palate, it's like sweet, and you roll it around. There's like a sweet, nutty. Yeah, it's a little harsh, a little stingy, a little bitter. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we are well into the first third, and I think it's time for our tobacconist tip of the week. And now your tobacconist tip of the week with Angel Solorio.
All right. Tobacconist tip of the week. So, I traveled, I guess you want to say recently. What was it, September? I went to Kentucky. Yeah, right before, what was it, Labor Day, I guess. Well, anyways, so one of the things I wanted to make sure I had with me when I traveled, especially because there's like no cigar shops in Louisville.
Yeah,
Like
well,
like dedicated lounges.
you have to go across the river.
Yeah, I wasn't
Indiana
doing all
for lunch.
that.
Yeah, like you had it because of the no smoking indoors laws. Like there's
it's
no
so
cigar
weird.
lounge, and it's fucking stupid. But
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So when I traveled by plane via BWI, which obviously BWI is one of the largest airports on the East Coast. Not the largest, just one of the largest, a major airport. So I figured, let me take this box and then let me take a cheapy cutter and a cheapy torch because I wasn't going to take my good stuff, and I haven't flown in a long time, so I was like, I don't know what all TSA is going to try to confiscate. So I used this Herfador, threw in a cheapy torch and a lighter, put it in my bag, and it was my carry-on. Flew with it, had no issues. I think one of the things I did read was like, as long as like stuff is in a secure container, this is technically a secure container, they didn't have an issue with it. So that's just my recommendation: is take your cigars, put everything that you can fit in here. Should be your torch, cigars. Oh, and I also had matches, which they didn't confiscate either.
I don't know what the rules are in matches. I know with your lighter, like if you drain your lighter, you're fine.
Which I did not. I didn't know that. Like I said, it's been a while.
Not sure how closely they check that.
Yeah, but there's so many opinions. I mean, I know my opinion on the TSA. I don't think it's as effective as it should be, and for as much as we're paying for the damn thing.
Yeah, well, that's the government for you.
Yeah.
Doing one job not well for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tobacconist tip, if you're traveling, use a Herfador as a secure container.
Yep.
And you travel just fine there and back. Cigars, cutter, lighter.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue.
All in there, no issues.
But even at I forget the name of the airport, the Louisville airport, TSA didn't care about it either. They didn't say anything, so it must be a whole TSA thing. But, yeah, also, not only carry it in a Herf, your cigars that you're taking with you, but just because it's a secure container, but also it would avoid crushing your cigars in your bag, whether you check it or you carry it on, because if you throw it up top, you ever see those freaking animals throw their luggage?
Yeah. So I do the same thing when I travel. The difference is I don't actually ever take a carry-on. I have a suitcase. I check it. Everything's in the suitcase.
Okay.
It's a zero-sum game. If they lose my luggage, I'm fucked. But like you said, like you bring stuff on the plane, it's just a pain in the ass. Like you forget the overhead bag room. You got people up there with a fucking travel camper. They're trying to jam up.
Yeah,
into
like it makes no sense.
You know,
like,
and then so it's like you can put it under the seat in front of you, and I always have like the person that like has bare feet stretching their toes under their seat. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's fucking cattle car bullshit in the sky anymore.
It really is.
Like, would you just take out half the seats and charge me more?
Right.
You know, like
give me like an extra inch or two.
But. Yeah, I mean, we're not like the biggest guys in Hanover, right? But we're too big for an airplane seat.
Fucking A.
You know? I mean, I'm not tiny.
Yeah. I got unlucky on my flight to Louisville. I had the very last seat on the right up against the lavatory. This is my ride, just like this.
Oh,
because
nice.
I got the curvature of the body as it narrows. I was like, oh, this is terrible. But I got lucky on the way back. I sat on the left side on the wing.
All right, with that, I think it is time for a break. Don't go away. Keep your dial locked in to the dulcet tones of Johnny Midas. And we're back on Burnline Podcast. Uncommon cigar knowledge for the common man. We are smoking the Montecristo Classic Series Connecticut 5x52 Toro. By the way, they list this as a 52x5. That's kind of common in Cuba, except they also use millimeters sometimes instead of ring gauge. But they'll frequently do like the girth first and then the length. Typically in America, it's length first. So you'll see some different ways of doing it.
Everything's bigger here.
Everything's bigger here. As well, like the weird names, like you'll have companies that make up vitolas, you know, like the Principe for Padron.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, kind of cool, but doesn't tell me fucking anything.
Right.
So if you're going to use a name, I like, like this, they call it a Robusto. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, hey, I know what a Robusto is. What's a Principe?
Yeah, because if you're like ordering online or something, like,
If you don't have a picture or whatever.
Yeah, if you're not looking at the cigar physically,
right?
Because the ratio of a Principe is the same as a fucking Toro.
Right.
It's just half as big.
Yeah, and like sometimes if you do have a picture, it's a picture with the same cigar next to it, so you don't really have a point of reference to like, oh, this is what the size actually is.
Yeah, or you'll have the cigar, and then it has like all the sizes to choose from like a drop down box. And it's like, either have legit sizes like Robusto, Toro, or have the 6x52, whatever, on there. So, which, by the way, a 6x52 is a really cool size.
Yeah.
So it's like a slim Toro.
Yep.
Normally a Toro's 6x54.
Yeah.
Robusto is a 5x52.
It's like a bigger Lancero.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why, but there's no difference in taste that I can tell whatsoever, but a 52 just fits in my lips better than a 54. Just a little bit, get a slightly better seal, but you get that extra inch of smoke time on it. So there's a couple companies that make those. I like them.
I'm a bigger cigar size kind of guy anyway.
Bigger ring gauge?
Yeah, bigger ring gauges.
I'm a small ring gauge. I think, I would say 48 to 54 is my sweet spot. I'll do a 56. Anything smaller than that.
Yeah.
I don't have the flexibility in my lip. Like, you can kind of tell right here. Yeah. I've been hitting the mouth with hockey sticks and shit so much. In fact, these two teeth are fake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they got snapped off with the gums.
They look good.
Thank you. They look better than the teeth they replaced. Too much hockey growing up.
Hockey.
So I got, like, scar tissue and shit in my lips. And so, I was smoking some... What was it, the Chupacabra or something that comes in like a box press 44?
Yeah, it's thin.
I couldn't get a seal. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't. That was on the Cigar Gauntlet episode.
Yeah.
I'm only trying to get my lips small enough, and it's like, anyway, so that's my sweet spot.
I think the biggest I smoked was a 72, something like that. It was a Payback.
So the biggest thing that you've put in your mouth was a 72?
No. But it was a 72 ring gauge cigar. It was the Payback.
All right, so give me some thoughts on this. We're in the second third, and I've got some thoughts. I'm interested to hear yours.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not having fun right now.
Really?
Yeah.
You got a good ash, though.
I do. Not going to lie. The construction, I was a little worried about it at first, but it's holding really good.
Yeah, I'd say so. The burn lines on both of them are really good.
So I'll give them that. The construction, just the look of the cigar, it looks like a real, it looks like a legit Cuban. Yeah,
like if you were to, like, draw a cartoon of, like, a banker smoking a cigar.
Yeah, it'd be
like
this.
It would be this, yeah. Yeah, it does. It looks like a real cigar,
Look, it even has its arms out. Like, what?
Nice.
So what are you doing?
I mean, I haven't ashed mine either.
Yeah.
So I love this. The way that it's ashing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's well constructed. The tobacco's aged well, too.
Yeah. I'll give it that. It's not hot either.
No, it's not burning hot.
It doesn't hold much heat, which is pretty good. Very well ventilated. It's not tight on the draw. I think it's the perfect draw so far.
It is. It does have a good draw. I think the quality is maybe a little higher than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I would say the flavor right now, I mean, not much has changed. There's definitely a toasted element, pine nuts, vegetable bitter. It's just Connecticut bitter. All Connecticut's, most of them have this. The exceptions would be like the Sobra Mesa. All of the Perdomo Connecticut's, they have like a different fermenting process, and they lose the bitterness.
Yeah, this one's got a little bit in there.
Yeah, but overall, like, it's an interesting experience because it's such a nice, mild, neutral cigar, and I kind of enjoy the flavor. It's just as soon as I look at the price tag, where I'm like, plugh.
Yeah,
it's like there's nothing wrong with it, but there's not enough right with it either. Yeah. This is like a Toyota Camry.
Like
like
a base.
Like, it's reliable. It gets you where you need to go. There's not much to complain about, but there's nothing to cheer about, you know?
Hey, so does a 93 Ford Escort get you there?
I don't know. I've had a few Escorts that didn't get me there. And he lost the ash.
There it is. And an innuendo on top of that.
We said no more innuendos on Burn Line.
Yeah.
I don't know. My 2002 4Runner's still getting me places. That was the best part about the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Just putting in 4 high and sending rooster tails on top of the other cars that were pulled over with their flashers on.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be that douchebag that was in front of me while I had my 4-wheel drive on, driving, and this asshole has an Audi with street tires on it and is slipping. And
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That was terrible.
They're called winter tires, dude. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get a car with Quattro, but I'm going to put summer tires on.
Right. It's like, money can buy you fun things, but apparently it doesn't buy you brains.
Yeah. As we all know. I'll tell you what, though, this 6-bean baller is my new thing.
Yeah, I dig it.
I fucking love this coffee.
I dig it. I need to get a cup so that way the coffee warmer.
You know they sell espresso.
Who does?
2C.
Oh, I think I did read that. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I got it. You know what we need to do? We need to get, what's his name? The coffee guy.
Our coffee guy?
No, Nick's friend. He was on the show once.
Oh, Francis.
Francis, yeah. I kept wanting to say Francisco, and I'm like, but he's not.
Either way,
Yeah.
Francisco.
It's a cigar show. He can be Francisco.
Francisco. He's Filipino,
Francis.
so they sing in Spanish, too. I met his family. They're pretty cool.
Yeah,
So-
well, he's pretty cool, but
Yeah, he's a...
get him to bring his setup and draw us some 2C premium espresso.
Yeah,
See what,
that'd be cool. We should try that out.
yeah, I'll give him a call.
I could reach out, yeah.
So, 2024, time to play profit. Prognostication. So,
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus, yeah. All right, so I've got a few predictions for 2024. And then also things we're looking forward to. I think that cigar prices are going to go up several times over the year.
Yeah. I think more than once.
Well, I was actually researching for this show because 1625 puts you in, like premium cigar territory.
Yeah.
And like I said, the cigar itself is pretty nice.
Yeah.
The box and the cello and the barcode, like it's a plain white sticker with like a barcode on it.
Yep.
It's not like Perdomo has like that fancy barcode sticker. It adds to this detracts. But I was doing the math. Did you know, like in the cigar boom, late 90s, if you adjust for inflation, the average cigar price was $15 to $17?
Huh.
So really, this is just your average cigar. This is what they should cost. And the fact that you have manufacturers pushing out still really good $10 cigars, that just speaks to economies of scale.
Yeah.
And the ability to reduce costs through large production runs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was $14 like a few years ago. Not even that long ago.
Not that long ago. Like COVID.
Yeah.
Like pre-COVID.
Yep.
2020.
Man, I should have bought up a lot of cigars, held on to them, and sold them on the secondary market.
Dude, if we could time markets, we'd all be billionaires, right?
Right. Yeah.
I've still got my ash going.
Yep.
You're a little farther along than I am.
I am.
I think. Let's see. Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, and there it goes.
Yeah.
All right. I joined the club. Look at this ash.
Nice.
Solid piece, and it's cool enough to touch. That is freaking awesome. So
Still sweet.
it is, sweeter. Yeah. Actually, the sweet is picking up. I kind of like that, and that is something that you will get off of some really good Connecticut's, like well aged.
Yeah.
Is sweetness. Anyway, prices are going to go up, and that's not just. I mean, anybody can say, "Oh, prices are going up this year," but looking at like adjusting for inflation over the last 3 years, cigars haven't caught up, and they're going to.
Yeah,
so
they're catching it pretty quick. I mean, I already announced like what, 2 or 3 price hikes.
Yeah,
the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was part of the cigar news last week. We mentioned some companies are saying ahead of time, we are raising prices, get ready. The other thing, I think you're going to see more Ecuadorian tobacco being used.
I would hope so.
Well, because they're starting to make really good tobacco, including wrapper leaves, but they're affordable.
Yeah.
So 2 places that companies were getting affordable tobacco leaves that are not affordable anymore is Pennsylvania and Mexico.
Yep.
So I remember like the Juarez, when that came out, was that 6 years ago?
Yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah, it still seems like a new cigar to me. You know, the Mexican San Andres wrapper was like, oh shit, this is a really good wrapper, and it was affordable.
Yep.
You know,
that was right at the beginning when everybody's like, all right, looks like San Andreas is starting to become a good. Yeah. Because it took some time for it to get there. It wasn't like that always.
Well, Pennsylvania's in the same boat where Pennsylvania broadleaf is, you know, a really good filler tobacco, but also they're starting to make wrapper leaves.
Right.
If you like robust Maduros. Let me think, the Wise Men, that uses it. Okay. I think there's a lot of foundation cigars that use Pennsylvania broadleaf Maduro.
I forget. Oh man, I just looked this up not that long earlier this week. Who all use Pennsylvania broadleaf, and actually, Francisco uses some of it.
Yeah, DBL. It's a heavy filler component.
Yep.
In a lot of his cigars, but it's getting more expensive.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think you're going to see. I think we're going to see a fairly large increase in the use of Ecuadorian Sumatra, particularly for wrappers. You know, actual Sumatran. It's my least favorite wrapper, like Indonesian.
Yeah.
There is a lot of concerns with Indonesian tobacco. The biggest of which just has to do with transport.
Right.
You know. Regardless of the quality, by the time it gets to your factory in Nicaragua, isn't any good.
Right.
Right. Ecuador is a lot closer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can't imagine how shipping a pilon would go.
Do they ship pilons?
I don't know.
I don't know how they ship it.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's secure.
And then my last prognostication for 2024, they have replanted Cameroon in Mesoamerica, including Ecuador. And I think you're going to see an explosion of Cameroon wrapped products, but it's not African Cameroon. And I think like a lot of cigar taxonomy, we're moving into the space where Cameroon refers to not where it was grown, just like Connecticut often does. For example, this cigar is Dominican. If you look it up on Montecristo, it says that it has a Connecticut wrapper, Dominican binder, Dominican filler.
Yes, it's a Dominican Puro, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that right off the bat or not.
Well, that's the thing. It lists on the website Connecticut wrapper. What it means is a shade grown.
Right.
It is Connecticut. So Connecticut shade and Connecticut broadleaf are 2 different Connecticut tobaccos.
Yep.
Historically, you know, a Connecticut has a Connecticut shade wrapper that was grown in the Connecticut River Valley under shade. This is not. This is Dominican tobacco.
They call it their Shade 52.
Yes, this is their Shade 52 wrapper. And it is Connecticut shade originally, like this, the seeds, but it's grown in Dominican. So this is a Dominican Puro.
Yep.
I like Dominican cigars.
Yeah.
A lot of my favorites. I like them all, honestly. But Nicaraguan cigars tend to be stronger.
Yep.
And my palate, I kind of like the creamy, aromatic, flavorful, but not quite as strong.
Right.
Partly because sometimes I like to smoke 2 or 3 cigars in a row.
Yeah.
And, you know, can you imagine smoking more than 1 Padron in a row? No. I'd be barfing, you know?
Yeah. I think part of the reason that they're doing it, not only, it's probably a cost-cutting effort, but with the whole COVID logistics issues.
Yeah, sourcing it's more significant now.
Yeah.
Like, for a while there, the crops were so commodified.
Yeah.
You know, post-boom, a lot of people started growing. Now I need to sell it, you know, all of that. Well, now we have supply chain constraints that are, related to geopolitics and disease and weather and stuff. Where sourcing is like more challenging.
Yeah, especially like you said, the Cameroon, the African. Right now, currently, the stability of Africa is like in question as a whole. Mm-hmm. There's just way too much going on there.
And it's a shame because African Cameroon is one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah, it's good tobacco.
And I can tell the difference between African Cameroon and non-African Cameroon. The soil matters. The climate matters. Any predictions from El Fumo?
Predictions? No, you pretty much hit them all, like you said. Prices are going to go up. I think certain cigars are probably going to get harder to get.
Oh, and I think the trend of manufacturers releasing like limited edition versions is just going to continue.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more prominent.
And I didn't bring it with me, but I got a box of the Amazon Basin.
Yep.
Secondary market, $20 a stick.
Yeah, and
that's kind of expensive. MSRP is $14.50, right? So 33% markup.
Yeah, and you paid what, $14 for the one we smoked?
Yeah.
So that's
you know what? I should have remind me next week. I'll bring that in to show our listeners. It definitely looks like an Indiana Jones case.
Yes.
But I scrounged the internet and found them, and really I bought it because I'm probably going to resell them. But this is what's happening is you could, like the Amazon Basin, the original one was like $9 or something, $10. And yeah, there's been inflation, but you can release a limited edition and people fight over them and there's a secondary market and you can charge more money.
Yeah.
And so, I think you're going to have core lines that are fairly slim portfolio. And then the economics are you can use up batches of tobacco that aren't enough to support a core line and charge 25-30% more and sell everyone that you make.
Yep.
So I think we'll continue to see that trend, which means if you're a collector, you might want to focus.
Yeah.
For me, I've got the Las Calaveras. I collect those. And then every time I see a Fuente, I buy two.
Yep.
I put one in my Fuente collection and I smoke one. There's no rhyme or reason to my Fuente collecting. It's just if I see one that I don't have, it might even just be a different Vitola. I just buy it. I might get more focused later. But, like the CAO Amazon Basin, the Anaconda, and Extra Añejo, like you could collect those as well.
Yep.
If you start trying to collect every collectible cigar, you're going to be broke.
Oh, yeah.
So, might have to focus in.
I mean, the Opus X story, you got lucky that you even got that one.
Mm-hmm. I found a yellow.
Oh.
I found an Opus X story yellow. Yeah, I can't afford it yet. Ana Cuenya. You can look her up online. She's on the West Coast. She stocks a lot of like hard to find, rare, expensive cigars.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's enough Magic 8 Ball for 2024. We'll see how accurate we were with that. I think it is time for our news of the week. And now your cigar news of the week with Angel Solorio.
All right. So for our news of the week, and here we go, another breaking news. Habanos SA, so Montecristo, is going to be releasing the Year of the Dragon.
Ah, not another Year of the Dragon. Oh, my
God.
All right, so we've got Habanos SA, and that's the distributor for Cuba.
Uh-huh.
We've got Davidoff.
Drew Estate had one.
Drew Estate has a Year of the Dragon.
Plasencia
has a Year of the Dragon.
We're missing one. I know that.
We're missing one. And then Gurkha has the lawsuit over Year of the Dragon, but they don't have Year of the Dragon. They just have other dragon names.
Which is still stupid. And the person that they're suing is a behemoth compared to themselves.
I don't know.
Davidoff. Whoever at Gurkha thought that was a good idea.
Just remember that attorneys get paid by the hour.
Right.
I
don't think you're selling enough cigars to pay that attorney. I'm okay with talking shit because, I don't think we're going to be sponsored by Gurkha.
You know what we need to do?
What's that?
We need to buy one of every Year of the Dragon on the market and have a Year of the Dragon episode.
Yeah, we should.
We should totally do that.
Except for the Gurkha.
Except for that. All right, so we've got another Year of the Dragon coming out. What else? What do you got for us?
All right, so TPE, which is the... Hold on. I got to look again what the heck TPE is.
Tobacco Partners Eclectic.
What? No.
No, that's what it stands for.
The Tobacco Product Expo.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Or no, Total Product Expo. I'm sorry. Would have made more sense if it was total tobacco. But anyways, it's everything that has to do with smoking. Cigar people are represented there, and cigar accessories are represented there. But it's mostly like vape and CBD and the other stuff that is now in the market, which is kind of cool. But that TPE, some cigar stuff is being revealed, but mainly like that's where some of the, what would you call it, the accoutrement is being revealed.
Yeah, like your
cutters and lighters. So it's pretty cool. Like DuPont is there and revealed a couple new products.
Nice.
Which are actually pretty cool looking. They have the ST DuPont Koi Fish.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Line. Look at that. Just all those accessories you can buy in their Koi Fish line.
Nice. I like that.
That's pretty sexy. And then the traditional like DuPont lighters.
Yeah, I got the knockoff right here. Got this knockoff side light.
Yeah. Check this out. This is pretty executive looking.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I like that orange.
Yeah, I love SD DuPont's products. I don't love the price tag.
No, but hey,
Have you seen their what is it? I forget what it's called, but it's a lighter that looks like a one-armed bandit from Las Vegas.
No.
Yeah, it looks like a what do you call that, slot machine? Mm-hmm. And like it really works. And I think when you pull the lever is what lights it.
Nice.
And it's got jewels and stuff. $33,000 for a lighter. Yeah. Like, no, I'll take a gently used Porsche instead of that. Add it to the Johnny Midas car collection.
And then, so 2 pieces of legal news as far as tobacco. One is state, affects one state, and then the other affects nationwide. In Columbus. But in Ohio, the governor had made some rule changes to a bunch of things, but one of them included tobacco products, and they were saying that cities and municipalities can't like make their own tobacco rules, and somebody I guess the Senate decided to, no, you can't make a blanket thing, which is kind of weird because most tobacco laws are statewide when a state makes a law, which is...
Well, so letting municipalities make their own laws is actually, I think, more beneficial to the industry, because you can have cities that, okay, we're going to have carve-outs for cigar lounges, stuff like that. Yeah. Typically, the states... That makes sense. Yeah. So I kind of don't like the fact that the state's saying, no, you can't.
Yeah.
Because now the state's just going to say smoke-free,
Right, yeah.
It reminds me of Minnesota. Like, you couldn't smoke within 40 feet of any opening, like any door or something.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of smokers or vapors or nicotine users.
Yeah.
Because it's so damn cold in the winter, you ain't smoking.
Yeah.
You're not walking 40 feet away from the door to freeze your balls off to smoke. I mean, some folks did. But they did have cigar lounges, so there was some kind of carve-out for that.
Yeah, and I've never smoked a cigar in the boroughs. What is it, the 9 boroughs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they have a 9-borough, like in all the 9 boroughs, you can't smoke a cigar in the open, which is kind of weird.
It is very weird.
You can smoke a cigarette, you can smoke everything else, but apparently not.
And you can, roll coal with your stupid
car
diesel.
You can shoot people, you can mug people, but you can't smoke a cigar in the 9 boroughs.
Oh, yeah. All right.
The FDA is appealing last year's victory that the CAA had against them. So
fuck you, FDA.
The FDA has a hard-on for the premium cigar industry because apparently too many youngins are smoking premium cigars, or just cigars in general. I'm like, White Owls are not cigars.
It's not a premium cigar, but also the younger crowd. Like, you work at a cigar shop or worked at one, and they're just not coming in.
No.
This is not a young person's uncool game.
I've been in a cigar lounge for 12 years, And in my 12 years, I never saw a kid try to sneak, fake an ID or.
But even anything younger than 25 is rare.
Right.
Younger than 30 is fairly rare.
Yeah. But what I have seen, though, when a underage kid has walked in, they're like, do you have White Owls or Swisher Sweets? Yeah. It's not, oh, can I buy this? So
yeah, let me buy a $12 cigar up there. No, they're looking for the...
Yeah. That's what I have seen at cigar shops because they're like, oh, they must sell them there. No, we sell legit cigars.
Do you have any rough cuts?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're looking for. They're not... When those cigars are owned by big tobacco companies, which is a way to curb, the taxes and the restrictions. That's why they call them cigars. Like the cigarellos, like Swisher Sweet cigarellos.
Well, and they're ruining it for everybody else.
Right. They do that to curb taxes and regulations. So that's...
Let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we will come back and rank this Montecristo Classic Series Robusto. Don't go anywhere. Keep your dial locked into Burnline Podcast. And we're back on Burnline, smoking the Montecristo Classic Series Connecticut Robusto 52x5, retailing for $16.25 here at Union Cigar, Hanover, Pennsylvania, USA. And it's time to give our final thoughts on the flavor, and then we're going to rank this cigar. Also, I just wanted to point this out. I'm going to hold this up for folks to see. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've got a little split in the wrapper, and this has been repaired with fruit pectin. And you can tell when you hold it up to the light, the shiny spot over the top. So on the one hand, give them credit for repairing the cigar, and it worked. There's no split here. On the other hand, I feel a little gypped on a cigar at this price point. Just fucking put the right wrapper on it.
Right.
Before you sell it to me. But very interesting. That is very clearly and obviously a fruit pectin repair job.
Yeah.
But like I said, it worked.
Yeah, but for the price point, it should have never made it past quality control.
Yeah, I won't disagree. I mean, all right. So where you at on this smoke? I mean, you're in your final third. I'm just getting there. What are your thoughts on flavor and?
The vegetal is crazy strong on the retrohale now.
Mm-hmm.
Still sweet. If I just, not retrohale, just move it around in my palate. So that's not bad. This is definitely more of a non-retrohale cigar, honestly.
I think so. And also, I would say if you took a graham cracker and removed the cinnamon flavor, it kind of has that flavor. A little, toasted graham cracker, but,
Oh, look at that.
Oh, trying to take the secondary band off?
Jeez. Look at all that pectin.
Yeah, but it came off fine.
Yeah, it did.
Didn't wreck your wrapper. So,
yeah,
I like that. Apparently, these bands are put on with pectin.
Yeah,
and they came right off.
So
there's some cigars they use glue on the band,
which is weird.
And sometimes they, if the glue gets over the edge, forget it. You just tore your wrapper.
And that happens a lot too.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Yeah, don't smoke your wrapper.
So I would say that this is a mild-bodied cigar with, just medium smoke output. The smoke is kind of on the light side.
Yeah.
And with the flavors, definitely there is that Connecticut bitter, but mostly on the retrohale. Sweet, cedary, some pine nuts in there. Overall, really good. I like the flavor. It's really, I think it's going to come down to a question of value for me,
Yeah.
And with that, I think it is time to rank this cigar. Montecristo Classic Series Connecticut 5x52. And let's start with presentation. So, Angel, what do you have for presentation?
I want to say 7.
7 on presentation.
Yeah, for that price point and for what it is, it should. I mean, I like the banding and the cigar look itself, but the box should have been like a actual wooden box.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat where the cigar itself, once it's out of the cello, is like a 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
The cello didn't add anything. This doesn't look like a cigar that should be in cello. And then the retail sticker with the barcode, well done. I like that you closed your cello with that, but it's just a white sticker with some black barcode on it.
Yeah, it's not like a Montecristo CO or something like that.
Yeah, like you could make it nicer. And then just the paper wrapped pressboard box, it looks low end, like this is your $9 Chateau Fuente box.
Yeah.
Not a $16.25 Montecristo box. So I think 7 is pretty fair. And that brings us to price or value. And at $16.25 for a Robusto, what are you thinking?
I want to say 7 again.
7 on price?
Yeah, a little expensive. I don't know, not for the size and the Connecticut.
I actually had a 5 for price.
Yeah.
Which is right in the middle. And I feel like at 14 this would be a 7.
Yeah.
And at 11 it would be like a 9. At 16.25 it's not enough tobacco and it's not special enough. Once I have that kind of money, I mean, I'm looking at Plasencias. Like there's some really good sticks in that range.
Or Arturo Fuente.
Or Fuente, yeah. That I would pick up before I picked this one up. Yep. And then if you go down market to the $12 range, how many sticks on the shelf in the $12 range would you pick up ahead of this?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
A lot.
There's a lot. So I gave it a 5. I could have gone lower.
Yeah.
But I think, 5 is right in the middle. I think that's fair.
This is it's the difference between buying a Suburban and an Escalade.
Yeah.
I think what it is, it's like, oh, it's actually a Suburban, but we're just going to badge it as an Escalade and charge it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's the same vehicle, just I don't think it's worth that price.
All right, moving on to construction. What are your thoughts there?
Well, the construction, I'll give it a 8 because it didn't fall apart. It actually held pretty good. I didn't like that cap kind of, not that it was did any structural damage, but it was just weird that it just fell off like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was the extra tail part. So
yeah, I mean, for Montecristo, you're paying for it. I wanted quality. Plus, I know it didn't happen to my cigar, but them sending through something like that, repaired cigar right off the bat, that's not cool.
Yeah, I had an 8 for construction as well. It burned very well. The ash was great, an indicator of, quality aged tobacco.
Yeah.
Burn line kept nice. We did have a couple of issues. One is this Pectin repaired wrapper on mine. One was the cap tobacco just kind of coming off when you clipped yours. But the draw has been fine, and nothing is like flaked off or fell apart.
No.
So I think it earns an 8 for that. And that brings us to flavor, which, to me, there's not much flavor, but the flavor that's there is pretty good. And I think for folks that are looking for the mild cigar that they can enjoy in a lot of different contexts, it's probably a good flavor profile. What are your thoughts there?
I'm gonna give it a 7. Was just not a fan. It's kind of like a single note the whole way, almost. Maybe one little change, but there wasn't much to it, and there's not much to write about, honestly. I'm not trying to be shitty about the cigar. It's just I've smoked other Montecristos, and this is probably the most unimpressed Montecristo I've ever smoked.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a single note. There's a couple of notes in there, but they also don't change.
Right.
So it's the same flavor profile all the way through. And, yeah, I agree. I think 7 is probably fair for flavor. Some things I think that would improve it would be the retrohale in this rare case detracts from the experience.
Oh, yeah. It was
usually you can use the retrohale to like change and enhance the experience, and you can like gauge like 1 every 5 puffs or something, or every puff. This one it's like I'm gonna avoid retrohaling.
Yeah, definitely do not retrohale this cigar. I mean, 1 or 2 times, but not all the time. that vegetal just gets way stronger as you go. It almost feels like you're smoking grass clippings. And it's weird. Yeah. I don't want to knock the cigar, but that's exactly what it's like.
And that brings us to experience, our most subjective and probably most important. What do you think on experience?
I'm just gonna unfortunately give it a 6. I was just unimpressed. You know, we still had the right setting. We did everything correctly. It's just I'm not impressed by this cigar. Like I said earlier, I'm not enjoying it. I smoked some other Connecticut's, and this Connecticut ain't it.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is a value equation for me.
Okay.
Where, if this was a $9 cigar, I think it would rank higher.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7 for experience. I think if you take it out of the cello, it looks like a cigar.
Yeah.
If you smoke it, it smokes kind of like an old school Connecticut. It has like mild enough flavor that you can enjoy it in a lot of different settings. Unfortunately, at the price point, I wouldn't risk, like taking it fishing or mowing the lawn or walking the dog or anything like that. It's, I don't want to risk dropping it in the water or something at $16.25.
It's also not. I wouldn't recommend it as a beginner cigar, not only because of the price point, but just the flavor overall. I'm pretty sure this is on somebody's palate, like more experienced smoker, but I wouldn't give it to a beginner smoker.
Well, I don't think it's going to choke a beginner out, but I agree
I think
that
the flavor's just off-putting.
It's a little sophisticated.
Yeah,
you gotta know how to enjoy it. I agree. And that brings the total ranking for this Montecristo Classic Series Robusto to 35. So mid-30s. I think that's probably pretty fair.
Yeah.
For it.
Somebody's probably yelling at us listening to this like, no way.
Well, if it's your stick, it's your stick.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got their own flavor. You do you. We just rank our experience smoking on the show, and I think honestly I'm not that surprised.
Yeah.
Montecristo has some good sticks.
Yeah.
Most of them are overpriced, and they have some real turds too.
Yeah, we're not Montecristo haters by any means.
No.
And this also kind of proves that, hey, nobody's paying us to rate their cigars higher or like that premium cigar bias. We don't have that bias either.
Right.
Like,
it's good or it's not.
Right, and this is our honest opinion.
Like, Consumer Reports. Like, if you read Consumer Reports, you'll probably never buy a Mercedes.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, go buy one,
Or JD Power and Associates Awards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Stares at GM.
Yeah. So that is it. Thanks for joining me, and to everybody out there in YouTube land. Appreciate you joining Burnline Podcast. A couple of notes on the socials. So we now have video up on YouTube, and I'm still having some trouble with
the uploads.
Yeah, with the syncing for whatever reason. In my video editing, which I used Final Cut Pro on the one. It just spits out an MP4, and weird. Everything is like lined up.
And you did drop it from 4K to 1080, right?
Yeah, I dropped that down. So we've had one video that was correct, and two where for whatever reason when we like go to the upload, it offsets the audio by a little bit. But that is live, and we now have a video of the show. I'm pulling it up right now, and had a couple of comments on the CAO Amazon Basin.
Nice.
From Timothy John. I read the other day 3 types of cigars: Cuban, New World, and the Amazon Basin. Having had the pleasure of having it many times, I cannot disagree. My favorite stick, hands down. And then also, they released in 2022, and last year the Añejo. Then this re-release in January 2024. I sense it will be an annual release. Thank you for those comments. We greatly appreciate it. Also, you can reach us, burnlinepodcast@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want us to try, and we will do our best to make this your show. And how about Facebook? How's that going?
It's going. Still having some issues. I'm reaching out to Facebook themselves, and I'm just getting nothing. They're being weird. And then recently I got flagged for something. And
shadow ban.
Yeah.
Shadow ban.
I think that's what's going on. And then I got flagged for something They're like, we removed content that you shared, but I didn't share anything. And they says, we can't even show you. That's how offensive it is. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense. It was like a cybersecurity warning, though. It wasn't like I don't know. Facebook's just being weird, but
it's up.
Yeah, it's
and
up.
It's at Burnline Podcast.
Yep.
And
so
also
interact.
we are on Instagram at Burnline Podcast.
Yep.
So visit us on the webs. Be sure to like and subscribe and drop us a line, interact, and we will try to customize this show to what you like to listen about on cigars. To all of you out there on the interwebs, thank you for joining Burnline Podcast. We will see you again next week.